Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TechRaptor podcast. I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
And Rodden, editor-in-chief.
Rutledge Doggett, site founder.
Andrew Stretch, liquid holder enthusiast editor.
What kind of liquid?
Anything that can fit in a cup or a mug. Sometimes a chalice.
Okay. So we are all 70% water, aren't we all liquid holders in a way?
I mean, if you try hard enough, yeah.
Yeah. Just
Sorry, I thought that you were... I preempted your sentence there. I thought you were going to say, can't we all fit in liquid containers? And I was like, yeah, it's a bit of a dark turn, but no, you were saying,
I've seen Breaking Bad. I know how that can happen. You just throw someone in some acid.
To use the right acid and not the bathtub.
That's right.
And don't worry, listeners at home, Stretch is not high. He's just excited for Cuphead. I think that's what you were going for, right? And so we're going to talk about the DLC later today. But first, welcome to Kittens Korner. A little update on our Kittens games. Brett, how's your kitten game going?
I am at year 555. And
fuck me, dude.
What's your Paragon at, Rutledge?
Paragon is 27.
Dude,
So I have 97 kittens.
You need to up that, man.
No. Oh, the only way to do it is getting more kittens, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get moving.
Each one above 70, population.
Because
I'm trying.
You gotta reset, man.
Mm-hmm. Otten, how many years now is your stats?
It's not going to be too crazy. I don't think in comparison. I guess I'll tell you. Let's see. I missed the Kitten Korner on the document, so I didn't have it open.
I added that right at the last second.
Okay.
I saw Rhett added it. That's why I threw it to him first.
So total years.
I can stop anytime I want.
Sure, you can. Yeah.
Total years plays at 1,432.
Okay.
I'm catching up.
Yeah,
and I'm now at 80,000 clicks.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know how websites work, but I know that we have a server that keeps TechRaptor.net, which you can check out. We publish features every day over there. Are you putting Kittens Game on the same server? Is that how you're just running up the numbers? Like you just have it on?
I get up, get my coffee, open my browser, go to Kittens Game, let it run literally all day, and just click from time to time. And then at the end of the day, I save it, push it to the cloud save, and go over to my Mac and watch shows.
And do it there, too.
Continue running until bedtime.
You have no idea how happy this makes me to hear this.
Listen, I can stop anytime I want. This is like spreadsheets gamified, and it just really, I love it. I'm in my element.
When you say I can stop anytime I want, I don't believe it. But Stretch, I know you're the success story. You're a recovered Kittens Game addict now.
I am free. I am free from it. It was going too slow for me. It definitely seems appealing how much more there is to it. But it just, at the rate that things were occurring, was just not aligning with my attention span. So I closed it down one day, and I walked away, and I have not opened it back up again.
Very nice. I'm proud of you.
Wow.
Hey,
I think I'm going to get my 1 week kitten pin in a few days.
That's just superhuman resolve.
Yeah. I think I'm at... I don't have it up because I guess I'm not as addicted as Rut right now.
Neither am I, and I'm like,
he's doing it while we're doing the show. I think I'm at year 350-ish or so, maybe 375 around there. I think I've got 93 kittens, and I'm about to unlock the thing where you can turn Warship into Epiphany. I haven't unlocked that thing yet. Don't do that,
but yeah.
Oh, don't do that?
No.
But then you pray faster, just like real life.
It doesn't pay off till later. Don't bother with it early.
Okay, fine. So if that segment made no sense to you, 2 weeks ago, Auden assaulted us with the game called Kittens Game.
Has it only been 2 weeks?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I guess it's been a lot longer for me.
It's a clicker, and we've all become addicted. Well, Stretch isn't addicted anymore, but
Back in Otten's day, he had to raise kittens up hills both ways
right.
in the snow.
All alone.
and my favorite thing about this is that we're very committed to the bit, and this game only has like couple of thousand downloads on the Google Play Store, right? It's like
it was like 50,000 or something, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I promise this is not sponsored by Kittens Game.
No, but if we become responsible for its mainstream crazy success, I would not complain.
Me neither, because it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's just for the simplicity.
Free web game with no ads running. Hit us up for a sponsorship.
hey, the app on your phone's like $3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Only 3? No.
And can I add free web game that's been around for like a decade?
For a long time.
No ads, yeah.
Still can't believe you guys haven't heard of Nation States. Fucking.
Yeah, that's old people.
Okay,
post about it on your GeoCities and maybe you'll find out what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's get into some
about it.
Hey, now that concert was fire.
I bet it was. Yeah. Let's get into some news. Nintendo had a Direct Mini, they called it, where it was just a bunch of games from their partners, a lot of third-party things. So no Breath of the Wild 2 updates, no Metroid Prime 4 updates, no Bayonetta 3, any of that. But there's still quite a few cool things to come out of that Direct that I think is worth checking out. Got me excited. We're getting that Mega Man Battle Network.
Oh my god.
It's finally here.
It's the announcement of the decade, not just this year.
Yeah.
So right now, if anybody uses Slack, we don't use Slack Pro. So, but we have a trial of it, and you can search through the history of your Slack.
Oh, good.
And there's several E3s in a row where I'm like, "Where's Mega Man Battle Network collection?"
Like if you search Battle Network, it's only you.
And it's finally here. It's the best. Those
really
games
was kind of like
great.
the big surprise of it all as well.
I think it was.
Anyone was expecting Battle Network to be put out.
The worst part of it is that it's next year. I have to wait till next year.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing it where physically it's one bundle thing, but if you get it digitally, it's going to be two separate bundles, right?
Something like that.
I don't think they've announced the pricing yet, but that's so weird. It's like
strange.
I get if you want to release Final Fantasy 10 on one disc and 10-2 on another disc or something.
Sure.
Or do a Final Fantasy 13 collection and split things out. But this is like a bundle of 10 Game Boy Advance games that they're splitting into.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some DS games.
Yeah, some DS, like the later,
DS,
like the Psy Beasts.
The DS ones aren't included.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's
it's
true.
just the Game Boy Advance games. Like
those are the good ones anyway.
Go on to what was the sequel series?
Oh, something stupid.
Cyber Force, Cyber Stars,
Star Force or something.
Yeah, I think Star Force is it.
Anyway, when I think
Star
Mega
Force.
Man, it's this and Mega Man X that I think of when I think of Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
And Mega Man Battle Network is I don't know. There's so much stuff. Like, there's not another game like it still. Like, there was that one indie game, whatever it was called, something from Eden or something
Into
like
Eden?
that. Into Eden, where it used pretty similar style of combat.
Yeah,
but this is just
one step from Eden, right?
I think that's what it's called. But other than that, nobody's really done the Battle Network style at all. I don't know. It was just such a neat thing, like early on too, of this weird internet world that kind of felt like that could be a thing as a kid. Even it shows you how fucking dumb kids are. That you thought, oh, this will be the future. But
jack in.
Yeah, I love jacking in everywhere, jacking out, jacking anything.
Yeah, Lan loves to do that. That's the guy's name, right? Lan.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They really leaned into the
Lan
computer
and
stuff
his
in
brother
this.
Mega Man.
Yeah, not his brother.
It's his brother.
Come on.
Yeah, they're kind
No,
of
I'm
brothers.
serious. It's his brother.
Oh, okay.
It's his brother who died from a mysterious disease earlier in life, and so his father turned him into a program.
I forgot that his father's this crazy scientist.
Turned him into
Mega Man
Megaman.exe.
is Lan's brother.
That's right.
Yeah, I am excited for that though, because I hope because this is like what the fourth major Mega Man collection. Because there was the original Mega Man X, then they did the Zero and ZX collection.
Something like
Zero
Yeah.
and ZX were
Yeah.
combined.
Yeah, and then now this.
And then I bet they're never going to give us a Legends collection.
Yeah,
what
that's
is
the
there to
next thing,
collect?
right?
What is there to collect?
The duology.
Yeah.
One thing too, I
No,
think
you could
about
put
with this,
Legends of Tron Bon in there.
I was gonna
You
say,
can
yeah.
get, you can
Legends
get 3
1,
games out of that.
Legends
Fair.
2, Trombone. Done. Capcom, please, for the love of God, give me what I want.
And then
they
can
could also throw
finally
Mega Man
finish-
X7 into that too. Just why not?
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Like Capcom is doing. I think we talked about this some last week, and I've talked about it some elsewhere. But like Capcom is doing a lot of things right. Like how they're doing Resident Evil's becoming all this. You know, they've redone that. But they like Mega Man has been largely ignored. Who was like their tentpole, like their mascot forever. And other than these collections, and they put out what Mega Man, whatever, like the original style. I can't remember what number it
Mega
was.
Man 11.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
Mega Man 11.
11 may have been the last one.
I
Yeah.
think that's it. And like they have tons of cool stuff. So like I was joking when this was announced in our Slack that I was like, I need to buy like 15 of these to convince them to make another Net Battle Network.
You need to buy $40,000 worth of stock.
There
to
we go.
ask them
So I
to
can
make a
ask
new
them.
Mega Man game.
Yeah. I don't know. If there was another Mega Man X game or a Battle Network game, I'd be so fucking happy.
Well, okay, so you're a Battle Network Mega Man mega fan. So remind me, isn't it like 5 and 6? They did the like Pokemon thing, right? Where there was one that was like Proto Man and Colonel, and another one that was like it was like Sapphire, Ruby, Crystal, or
Well, they did that
all
all throughout the series. There was a slight variations. I don't know if it did the first one. But they started pretty soon. There was like white and blue and stuff.
There is 10 games in this collection, but of those 10 games, it includes Mega Man Battle Network 1 through 6. But then the later 4 all of them, everyone after 2 has a double version.
Yeah.
Right.
But the one that had one version on the Game Boy and one version on the DS, that DS version is not included.
Right. So I'm thinking of the digital release, how it's going to be 2, right? Like they're doing 2 packages. So if the second package is like 4, 5, and 6, isn't that pretty much only 3 games? Because, there's slight differences.
It's 4, it's the 2 versions of 5, it's the 2 versions of 6.
Yeah.
But the first bundle is 1 and the 2 versions of 2 and the 2 versions of 3.
Yeah.
So it's very weird in general that they really are only releasing 6 games.
Yeah.
It would be like me handing you Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and saying, "Hey, here's 9 games for you to play."
Yeah.
But it's really kind of 3.
Although, to be fair to Pokemon in this, I think there's more differences between their versions and the Battle Network versions. I'm trying to remember what the differences were. Me and a buddy would get the opposite versions, and I cannot remember what was different.
Because I know 5
different chips you could get or something.
That's my guess. It's just
different chips. But also 5 had it was Proto Man and Colonel, right?
Yeah.
So
Later on, it was
leader.
like you're a different. Yeah, you have a different dude.
Yeah.
In charge of your stuff. Yeah.
I don't remember the stories for them, so I don't remember how much it's
The later ones I don't remember as much.
Yeah. Okay. So that wasn't the only thing announced at this direct.
It was the best thing.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, there was that Super Bomberman R2. Seems like they're doing that like 1v14 mode, which seemed ridiculous. Actually, though, the real surprise for me, Pac-Man Re-Pac. Pac-Man World Re-Pac. I was not expecting that.
Pac-Man's mom.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought Pac-Man, like the last thing I think of with Pac-Man is Smash. You know what I mean? Like Pac-Man is just kind of an icon, not a
you heard
game.
it here first, everyone. Robert chose to smash on Pac-Man and not pass.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's bold.
Exactly. But
Waka waka.
Waka waka. Indeed. I don't know. This the Pac-Man World thing is the biggest surprise to me. I was just like not even thinking of that.
I mean, people do like yeah, it's definitely not anything. If you were to say, what's your number one game to remake? That's definitely not going to be on most people's
such a
lists.
surprise, yeah.
But
Yeah.
people it was a fun game. It was a good game. People talk highly of it. If you talk about like those obscure like PlayStation 1 platformers, once you get out of like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and like maybe into like Croc tier, then you're gonna start talking about Pac-Man.
Right. You have to dig in a little deep there.
What a fucking dig at Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, because it's not in that upper echelon of PlayStation
Yeah, I'm gonna
1
say Croc
platformers.
sucks ass though.
No, Croc was fun. Okay.
Yeah. If you wipe the dust off and
I came at that comment from a place of love. Like, sure,
I'm
Croc
sure
had
you
10
did.
controls, but it also had a boxing ladybug, and that's kind of cool.
Well, you could love the world of Croc, but you can't tell me it was a good platformer. Piss off.
That was
Screw
fighting words.
Croc sucks.
but it's better than Pac-Man World in stretches.
Hey, here is where I die on this hill. Croc is better than Dynasty Warriors 4. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, we got
A hell of a throwback.
two kings of bad takes on here. That's fine. I can live with it.
Oh, you and
Yeah,
Stretch got it.
Yeah.
Nope, I am just confident in my opinions.
We got more Sonic Frontiers footage, and I see someone on the dock added, "It looks good now. Please speak up." Who did? Okay.
It looks better.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an
I'm-
explanation here.
I'm coming back from my
This
hot
is the
take about
Croc guy. Yeah, let's listen to the Croc guy talk about a platformer real quick.
Yeah.
No, I mean we've so much of what we've seen for Sonic Frontiers just looks Uncanny Valley isn't the right term, but like the beautiful photorealistic lush fields, and then there's a red boing spring and Sonic in full detail, like rolling through the beautiful vistas. But we finally got to see some of those like subverse levels, the dimension levels that are the ones that you get keys to progress through the game, the ones that look like traditional Sonic games, and they look good. It looks like good Sonic.
Okay, they do. I want to put a pin in this real quick because I heard you say subverse, and then I saw Rut make a face.
Look,
Yeah, what's that mean?
I picked it up for research.
What?
You remember Subverse,
Do you know
the
what
horny porn
Subverse
game?
is?
No.
Yeah, just go to Steam and put in Subverse.
Google Subverse real quick, and
Well-
I would like to see your face live as you realize what this game is.
And only we can see that we're doing this for our own pleasure. Not
You know what's funny about that is
listeners.
think of it within the context of Sonic also,
Oh,
because there's a lot of
no.
there's a lot of Sonic artwork out there
that's
that you'd call subversive. I would say very subverse like, if you know what I mean.
This is wrong on so many levels. Just
Tell you what, I just tried to bring it up on my phone and I wasn't logged into Steam and it didn't let me see it.
Yes,
right.
that's
probably for the
right.
best.
Yes.
Oh, that game looks like trash. Oh, that's a lot of tentacles. That's a lot of tentacles.
Yeah. Anyway, Sonic
Yeah. Sonic
Frontiers.
So, I do agree with Stretch. Actually, I think those subverses. I don't think that's what they called them in the trailer, right? But the mini levels where we're like you're running around the field. So the field is basically the open zone is basically like a hub world, kind of like
Sure.
a really big hub world, is my understanding, kind of.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then just the little levels are like the more classic 3D Sonic contained levels.
It's like Super Mario Sunshine, man. You go into the more classically levels. And that's exactly what Sonic would like to be compared to Super Mario Sunshine, the most beloved Mario.
Yes. The
I'm
best Mario.
a Sunshine defender, though. Sunshine's great.
I mean, I'm still going to get Sonic Frontiers, I think. It looks just like the right amount of weird Sonic that I'm into.
Oh, man.
Yeah, as long as there are no werehogs, I'm good. Anyone here fans of Mario and Rabbids?
Yeah. It was good. Yeah,
I dig what they're changing with it.
yeah, I agree. I think they're making smart changes.
Yeah, it's a little less XCOM.
Yeah, because so way back when I don't know why this just reminded me of it. What was it? The 30th anniversary of Mario. We did a month long of articles on various Mario stuff, and I wrote something about how Mario makes a genre its own by adding all these little quirks to it. Like with RPGs, they made it to where you're jumping still. There's still some platforming bits in it, and then during combat, you're like more active, doing stuff in a turn-based combat thing, like making sure you can time your jumps and all that kind of stuff. This feels more like they're leaning more into what makes Mario in a tactical thing, like because there's the jumping around and more interactive stuff rather than point and click to attack thing. So it looks like it's more engaging that way.
Yeah, just the free form movement, no longer being on a grid. It looks like they are gonna. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It looks like they're injecting more of the Mario into the XCOM formula to take that step away that we want.
Yeah, and that's coming out relatively soon too, right? Like October,
something like that. Yeah,
October 20-ish. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, more Mario for everyone, right?
I hope it keeps the multiplayer as well, because that was a lot of fun. Like each person controlling like half of the split team, but then you also had to like supervise a toad slowly moving across the battlefield and stuff. That was very fun, very chaotic. I definitely enjoyed that.
One of those weird surprise things when the first one was announced, like, what are we doing? Mario's got a gun now.
You ain't playing around no more.
No.
Harvestella was like the second to last thing they showed, I think. I only wrote it down because, it piqued my interest. I was like, this looks really high end for what it is, which is just another farming sim.
Wow, how fucking
the
dismissive
description
of a statement was that? Farming sim.
It's got a job system, party-based combat, specific quests. So it's like Genshin, Final Fantasy, and Stardew.
Yeah, I love
here for.
farming sims. I want to be clear about that. But it's just like there's a lot out there, and many can feel like pretty basic,
Yeah, I've got about 10 planned to cover for the rest of the year, and we'll see how those pan out. But yeah, this one actually looks really cool.
They're definitely Final Fantasy-ing a farming sim, that's for sure.
I mean, if you had just told me Square Enix is making a game called Harvestella, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like a Final Fantasy ass Harvest Moon game. Just the name alone.
No questions whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for it. I think that's a genre I've been enjoying a lot outside of the shooter, just to kind of like
was this
explore.
Yeah, and it's set in like the Final Fantasy 14 world. Got very Final Fantasy 14 art style and
a very 14 art style.
Yeah, but I think
that's just what they have on hand.
Right. I mean, it's not to be confused with a Stardew Valley-esque update that is coming to Final Fantasy 14.
I mean, it's kind of close to Genshin in the way it looks too. Like Final Fantasy / Genshin art style.
Yeah, and it's definitely one that's like on my radar, but I am cautiously optimistic. Like I want to see more of it. Maybe play a demo if possible.
It looks like it's going to be pretty deep compared to, because there's like an overworld and stuff too, with like towns and dungeons, and there's definitely going to be. It looks like it's going to be it's not just going to be like very basic where you're just farming and stuff like that. It looks like they're going to have some depth to it, which is really cool.
It's got an alarming lack of belts.
Yeah,
there's some there. There are some.
Well, no belts, no zippers. We know that Nomura's not on it, so we can expect a straightforward story.
Is Nomura involved?
Yeah, no belts, no zips, Nomura.
Yes.
That's a clip.
They got to save his lifeblood for other things as they suck him dry.
Right.
Like he's going to be a husk when he's done.
The last major announcement from the Nintendo thing, which kind of, I don't know, I feel like we saw this coming.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Royal is coming to Switch.
Woo!
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that was as
Same day as
expected.
Xbox. yeah, right. Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
Good
shocked.
stuff. I'm glad to see. I'm glad we're talking about Persona now because we're going to talk about Cuphead, which is very Persona inspired. Well, it's music anyway.
Right. Because Persona invented jazz.
Yeah. So it's good to
right.
see the Persona influence in Cuphead.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, and the
hate
art
so
style
much
too,
of
so
everything
similar.
you just said.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I'm probably not going to pick it up on Switch just because I've already played Persona, right? But it's like I'm glad that I feel like since 2016, even before the Switch was even out, there were already Persona 5 fans who were like, I can't wait to play this on Switch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, what's
demands in
strange is like, man, it kind of seems like it took longer than it should have for Atlas, considering like SMT has lived on Nintendo only for so long now. Even the most recent game was just a Switch game, and so they know like there's they have something that tells them, okay, the fandom for at least that lives on there, and SMT and Persona are not the same.
No,
but the you got to figure they'd be like, yeah, this would do well on there. Especially the old ones. It's really weird to not see like at least Persona 3 or Persona 4 on there at some point before now.
Yeah, but I mean, like historically, hasn't Persona has just always been a PlayStation thing? Like
I
even
guess so,
Persona 3
yeah.
Portable was PS Portable. Persona
I guess
4
it's still
Golden's
pretty
Vita.
new for them to. Yeah, I guess so. And then SMT was mostly
Nintendo.
well, the earlier SMTs were on everything on other things, but
yeah.
Since then they've just been like 3DS and Switch. But I mean, anything that's turn based is like perfect for the Switch. Like so.
Yeah, and what I like too is I think like Persona is just it's stylized enough where it doesn't need like the best graphics. You know,
Yeah.
like I think a Switch could totally run Persona 5.
It has that Wind Wakerness about it.
Yeah.
I was really not sure whether I would want to like replay it now that it's coming to other systems and stuff, because I played the base game. I never played Royal, but that it's coming with all 45 pieces of DLC.
They're just costumes.
I think there's costumes. There's also like bosses and extra fusions and stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean those are like end game. Like you need to make the best,
Yeah.
characters. 99.
Classic
everything.
grinding.
100 team.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still like that's a neat thing for them to throw in, like how the Demi Fiend was like the super boss at the end of SMT5, and that was a fun little crossover for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is worth revisiting if you are like Stretch, who only has played the base Persona 5. Royal is definitely worth going through again, I think, and now that it's coming to more systems and. Yeah. And
like that makes the time between when the first one came out and these ports make a little bit more sense. Like at least to me, but I guess if you wanted to have played it, you would have had to have played it on the console that got Persona 5 Royal anyway. So it's not like you haven't had access to it.
Yeah. Royal's great.
Either way, go play Royal. It's good. It's good shit.
To me, it's one of the best games to come out in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of the best RPGs out there right now.
I guess to expand it further, I think it's one of the best RPGs ever made.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. And that's about a wrap on the Nintendo Direct. Sucker Punch, the famed Sony developers, have said they are not working on Sly Cooper 5 or Infamous right now. Which
what a bunch of horseshit.
Just rude.
I don't really care about either, but I was for the people
Really?
that do.
Not a Sly fan?
Oh, I never played Sly Cooper. I did play a lot of Infamous though. Infamous
What are you implying?
Not implying anything. They're just fun games.
Right.
Well, when you think about the classic PS2 platformers, once you get down to Croc, and then there's
and then there's Cooper, just below Croc.
How dare you? How dare
Remember when
you?
there was that like clip of the Sly Cooper movie? Remember that?
I remember writing about that in 2013, and nothing since.
in it's been very odd how much there has just constantly been a bubbling about like, oh, new Sly Cooper, like whether it's the movie, and then I think that the movie got downsized to becoming a TV show, and then we never heard anything more about the TV show. And
it seems just like the perfect thing, at least for some kind of remaster package of something, because it's a stylized like platformer kind of thing.
I mean, they did a package on PS3. I remember.
Did they?
At one point.
Oh, that's right. They did do a collection on there.
But I would love. It would just be nice to get some more mainline games, because they were fun, like playful games that were just kind of chill and fun to romp around in.
Yeah. I mean, like, we have no idea what their next project is, if I remember right. Like, they haven't confirmed if they're working on like a Ghost of Tsushima 2 or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like open field on what they're doing next. Yeah. And I feel like it's just a trend that we're seeing recently with a lot of Sony studios, because on the flip side of things, you have Mr. Barlog at Sony Santa Monica and all of this clamor and demand for God of War Ragnarok, right? And gamers being gamers on Twitter.
Yeah, there was a lot of real disgusting shows from fandoms this week, and like explicitly like the last 2-3 days. That it's just like as excited as you can get about a game when there isn't an announcement of a release date. Not even like more, like the rumors weren't even that there was going to be more footage or you were going to learn this, learn that. The rumors were that it was going to be a release date and information about the collector's editions. And people have been despicable. It has been horrendous to see some of the shit that people have been tweeting about and chatting about, that like they've been sent DMs of dick pics and stuff. And it's like, what the?
Yeah, literally, there were people literally sending
with you
dick pics and saying, "Now can I see the release date?" And it's like
really, you think that's why?
No,
that's sexual harassment.
Yeah,
like that person could take you to court. Just you'll get the release date when you get the release date, and it's not going to be any sooner or later, depending on when you hear about it. I do like on the industry side of things, I do think it is somewhat interesting to kind of ponder and puzzle and wonder over, okay, what happened in that 24 hours between it knowing to be a confirmed thing and them pushing it back?
Yeah,
because that seems interesting. Like that's interesting to me, but like you just can't even talk about it now because someone's gonna get triggered. Like when what was it? Like when Horizon Zero Dawn was announced that it was getting ported to PC, and you had so many people just tweeting out that they were gonna, destroy their PlayStations because fuck you, Sony, and this and that. It's like, calm down, take a breath, touch grass. Please.
Yeah, like touching grass is probably the biggest thing for these folks, I feel like, because this is just, there's so much entitlement that comes out from these tweets, right? And like, I'm not a religious person, but God bless Cory Barlog for the way he's been handling all of this, because he could have, like, there were a million wrong ways to handle this, and I feel like he's done it the right way with the right amount of aplomb, but also calling people out, but not in a vindictive way, but in a be better sort of way,
in a disappointed dad kind of way, rather than like making them more angry,
right? And even through all of this, like if you go to his Twitter feed right now, he's like, and hey, don't worry, Ragnarok's coming this year, hell yeah, motherfuckers. Like he's still excited about the game he's working on, you know what I mean? Like
game development companies do just so much. The fact that us four, Auden doesn't have a camera, so I always forget that he's here.
He doesn't.
The
really
fact that us four are getting together weekly to chat about everything going on in the industry is because these people go out of their way to make something that people want. That just like these spiteful responses are just despicable.
It's just crazy. Like if you look at the chart of number of game releases per year over the last 10 years and how much it's increasing. It's like, okay, cool. This game's been delayed there's probably another 30 that you could check out or that you haven't already checked out. Like, cool off. Game's going to come when it comes. Find something else to play because God knows there's enough. The vitriol has never made sense to me. Like, okay, you are being incredibly nasty to these people. What is that going to do? Like, how is that going to change anything? Oh, I'm sorry, you sent me some dick pics. Here's the release date. Like, in what world do you live in that would ever work?
Well, I think that's a thing to remember. I talked about this. We've talked about this a few times since we've been doing this, but I think it's one of the most interesting things about how the games industry works versus other like mediums, other entertainment, is that there's so much more of a interweaving of the community with the development of a game, and it's encouraged. So it really amplifies when stuff like this happens. And I'm not like blaming game companies for doing that. I would say it definitely has an effect on making people feel like they have the right to say stuff. And then we also have to remember that there is a lot of irrational people out there that aren't mentally all or emotionally make the right decisions and stuff like that. And it's when they do get attached to something like that and they're encouraged to be attached to something like that, we're going to get these blow-ups. I don't know what the way out of that is, or is this just a symptom of something that we're just going to have to always deal with, which would fucking
Universal
suck.
Healthcare.
Yeah, well, I guess what I mean. So it's one of those like, man, it's something that the industry itself has fostered, and is now blowing up in their faces because people fucking suck. And so I mean, I feel bad for them.
I mean, for some games, the community is really solid, and you've got this like rock solid group of people that just love the game, and so you don't see stuff like that. But then you've got these other communities that, not by, like you said, not by the fault of the developer, have just gotten incredibly toxic.
Well, and I think with something like God of War, it's so big to say it's any one kind of community because it's so wide appeal. You can't really put it in there. You're gonna get the breadth of everybody and that kind of thing.
Yep.
And the people that are assholes talk the loudest and the most, and that's what you hear.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna say, Stretch?
I just think the people who are the assholes talk the loudest and the most. And thanks for listening to the TechRaptor podcast, by
the way. Hey, we only do 1 hour a week. We're not the most.
Sometimes.
1 hour publicly. We publicly assholes and loud for 1 hour a week.
Don't put out the screen grabs from Slack anywhere, anybody.
I mean, yeah, Twitter has just been a lot this week in gaming, right? Because there's also like people were giving Ron Gilbert some shit over the Monkey Island reveal on the Direct, right? Because they didn't like the art style or something, which is so dumb. And it's to the point where Ron's like, okay, I'm just not going to share anything.
Yeah, that's also a very, very fair, correct, very fair response. Like, hey, I wanted to share this with you. You guys are being dicks. Fine, I'm going to pick up my toys and take them over here, and you won't get to see them until they're out.
Mm-hmm. Which is so stupid. It's like it's very evocative of the original games. Like, that's obviously what they were going for. Yeah, what's the problem here? Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys check out the Monkey Island website, like the teaser website?
No.
That you pull it up and it like loads into like a prison or something, and then it's got 3 chat options at the bottom of the screen. So they've like built the website to promote the game as a old style
narrative
like point
adventure.
and click narrative adventure.
Pretty good.
That's pretty
good stuff.
Yeah. See, it's like they do shit like this, and then there are people on Twitter that treat them horribly. It's like, why?
So stupid.
Like, what do you gain, right?
Oh, it's I don't know, just so much time of people twisting in their head that they have some kind of ownership over the creative process of these games, or like whatever, because it has some meaning to them. It's such a strange, I don't know. And obviously, I think it happens in all entertainment, but it just seems so much more heightened in games.
There's a word for it. I've totally forgotten. It's like the same thing with like parasocial disorders.
That stuff. Yeah.
Where it's like sure, you might watch all of this person's content or whatever, but you're not their friend.
Yep. It's kind of the same thing.
Just
Similar.
because you laugh at their tweets and you get their in jokes based on the franchises they create does not mean that you have the right to talk to them that way.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It's a fair point.
Last little bit
It's
of
like
Twitter.
EA should stop talking.
Exactly. A little bit of Twitter debacle here. EA posted there are 10, but they only like playing single player games.
Oh man, there's almost too much to unpack here. That it could use an entire podcast to talk about. Like,
I want to shake whoever's hand was that had the idea to tweet that. Genius. There's nothing more. There's nothing else they could have picked that would have been worse. That just is that everybody already mocks EA for anyway. There's nothing that they could have picked.
He's a 10, but he's weirdly into Grogu.
hey now,
At least he is a 10.
thank you. No, it's just and it's funny to see the response too, like to where even Vince Zampella, Fallen Order, single player game, Titanfall 2, single player campaign, and then the creator of Call of Duty, literally all he replied was a facepalm emoji.
Yeah,
and
That's good stuff.
literally a child company of EA ahead of the studio, and he's like, guys, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, this might be the most ratioed tweet I've ever
Of all
seen.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so perfect for them because they have like the most ratioed comment on Reddit of all time.
Yeah, the most downloaded, right? The one finding pride in a multiplayer game, right? In the Battlefront.
It's so fantastic. They're
What was the
perfect
quote?
at putting their foot in their mouth.
The best review of Battlefront or Battlefield 2042 of would have been a better experience shoving the 80 pounds up my butt. And
Hey, some people are into that.
I'm not kink shaming. But
my
yeah.
favorite reply to this tweet is Donkey, video game Donkey. How are your tweets worse than your games? Like,
That's good.
Ratio.
Dunkster.
yeah, pretty bad ratio on that. It's great.
And even like seen a former Visceral dev, like, you guys literally shuttered our studio for making a single player game. And it's just like, I don't know if maybe it was just like, it was that social media intern's first day of his first week at EA. But like, if you knew any history, you would have never tweeted that.
Well, I thought they were gonna. The thought process was, we're obviously making a joke about ourselves when we're doing this. That's what people will think, right?
Oh yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
like, that didn't work out for you. Like,
Good old cell phone.
yeah.
So that's the thing, right? It's like, in a way, isn't this a genius move? Because we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm. I bet that social media intern, shows up to the next meeting, showing off all of the statistics of how many likes and retweets and quote retweets and how much engagement that then filtered to other things. We're laughing and stuff, but I bet from the marketing side,
It's the best numbers they've had in 15 years.
Perception, but from a marketing side, that was a gold tweet.
It's that whole thing. There's no bad press, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, should we shift over and talk about some single player games?
Cuphead's multiplayer.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
Not
someone
online, but it's multiplayer.
Mugman?
Yeah, Cuphead, Mugman, and
Miss
Miss
Chalice.
Well, so the Cuphead DLC, The Delicious Last Course, came out, and both Andrews on the pod have been playing it, right?
I have beaten it. I am the greatest in the world.
Look at you.
Pro gamer.
Very little chance to get into it, and what I have gotten into has had me tearing my hair out.
Why is that?
Just, it's been so long since the original release. It's like trying to hop into a JRPG halfway through the story and just being like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what that is. What words are you saying?
literally did that last week with Fire Emblem. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
But when it's when it's an action platformer, shooter platformer, when it's Cuphead, and you haven't maintained that muscle memory. Like, I beat the base game in a few days. I remember I beat the base game. But from the hour I've played so far of this, it's just like, I don't remember anything. Everything's flying from everywhere. I'm so lost, and I'm just getting destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, Cuphead is a pretty tough game, right? It's not easy.
Yeah,
they are difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But Otten, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, it does feel like it's not at least the bosses that I've faced so far, which is like the spider one, the old man and the mountain, and there was one more that I'm blanking off the top of my head. But it's like, it's not just that you need to focus on the boss in these fights. It's like, you'll have the boss, like for the spider, you've got 3 tiers that you can hop, like 3 levels that you can hop between. And you've got the main spider boss coming out from left or right randomly. You've got bombs that hang down. You've got enemies that come in from the background. You've got a caterpillar that bounces around like a DVD screensaver across the screen. And then there's one more guy that will come out and will try to directly shoot at you. And I just remember a lot of the original Cuphead bosses being, you focus on the boss, you focus on the boss patterns. Whereas this is more like those scenes in the movies where like a spy is going through like a laser field. So you've got to keep track of 40 things at once. Yeah. I'm sure that like if you play a heavy metal song backwards at 50% velocity, 50% speed, you'd be able to find the exact pattern needed to jump to avoid every single bit of damage in a stage or something.
That stupid Ocean 12 scene, right?
Like there's probably like tool assisted speed runs of this that are like 100% precise, perfect jumps, perfect dodges.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. I meant to. I should have done it. I didn't get to it. I'd be curious to compare it to some of the base game bosses, because it definitely does feel like it's a lot more bullet helly in terms of avoiding stuff in some places. But then I'm thinking of some of the other original bosses. There were a lot that were like that, and it's definitely there's a pattern to everything in every boss. It's not just totally random.
Mm-hmm.
You can figure out how things work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's definitely so much more to avoid. You're like, it's so much more frantic, it feels like. But I'm wondering too, like it's part of it's an assumption of, okay, you're probably familiar enough with the game by now to do this. We're not going through like, you're not getting eased into various mechanics. They're like, okay, here you are. You're an expert now, right? So here you go. Because I would imagine that the average difficulty of these bosses are a lot more than the base game ones.
Right.
Because it's like, well, you've beat the final boss. Now it's time to take on this extra challenge. It's like, yeah, but I beat the final boss in 2019.
Yeah.
Like 2018, whenever the game came out. Like, what are you talking about? I got the base Cuphead on like a Wednesday. I beat the final boss on a Friday, and then I haven't played it since then.
You haven't been booting it up every single day since then?
No, to do my daily drills in Cuphead, beat the devil once more, and move on my way.
No, I love it. It's so good. I loved it. I love the bosses. I love how creative they are. Because I do think like it feels a lot more chaotic of what's going on screen. But I love the theme of so much of them. And how I don't know. There's so much good. Obviously, it's Cuphead. There's so much good animation that looks so amazing. It's every single one of them. I felt like when I'd get incrementally better, it felt like, okay, I'm figuring more out, and it felt better. I didn't get nailed, that kind of stuff, because it does like all the bosses in it. It was like this in base Cuphead 2 have different phases, and it becomes figuring out each piece on the way there. And there's a certain satisfaction of progression in doing that, and they all did that very well.
Yeah, I mean, Cuphead, it's one of those games.
I'm ragging on the difficulty. I'm still having fun though. I
Yeah.
do want to like make sure that that's known.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, just classic game journalist, right?
Hey,
Yeah. But there's just so much. I don't know. There's not a ton of bosses, and I think there's 6 like main bosses. Like that would be a Cuphead, classic thing. But there's also a gauntlet of bosses that you can do that are themed around chess that I really liked. That are a total different style. You actually don't shoot anything. They're totally based around. What do they call it when it's the dodge into the pink thing? I forgot. It's got a name. So where you it's parrying. Yeah, they call it. I think they call it a parry. Yeah. So when you parry into stuff, and it's all based on that. That's the only way you actually damage anything. So you're not shooting anything. So it becomes a bit more of a like, I don't know, platforming kind of thing.
Yeah. It definitely flips up the way that the game plays.
Yeah, and I think it worked out pretty well. Like they were pretty fun. And there's one boss where you're fighting them in a plane, not like the plane levels where you're flying and controlling the plane as a plane yourself. But there's one where your platform is a plane that you move by going left or right on the wings, and it'll move the platform with you as you're dodging stuff. And they're also on a plane above you moving, and it's just. I don't know. They throw in a lot of very simple ideas that work out really well together. And then that same boss, you'll rotate around the screen of what is like down, where gravity goes. And that really fucks with your head, I'll say. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? On top of having to dodge all this stuff, I have to do it upside down or on the left side of the screen now. Like, Jesus. But I loved all the bosses. It's such a good time.
Does it make you sad that this is the delicious last
It
course?
does. I hope. I don't know what the future will be. We'll know when it comes out in 6 years. But I'm excited for whatever it'll be.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like Cuphead 2, I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, sure.
Or Cuphead X, maybe.
That's right. Cuphead Battle Network.
But not Cuphead Legends. That'd be ridiculous.
No, it's stupid. Nobody wants that. Anyway, it's what, $8, I think?
Yeah.
100% worth $8.
Yeah, because is Cuphead still on Game Pass? I forget. Or not anymore.
Oh, I don't know.
I
I don't know
don't.
off the top of my head.
Wow, it took almost an hour to mention Game Pass.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking of it because I was like,
No, it's not
I
on
do
Game
want
Pass.
to. It is.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not
okay.
for PC.
It is on sale right now with the Steam sale.
Yeah,
Like $13
Because
or something.
It's on
I have been
sale
wanting
on
to get back
Xbox
into
as
it.
well.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might pick it up maybe and like also go through the DLC because I've been in the mood for like a challenging platformer type thing again.
It'll challenge you.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think what makes it, I don't know if it softens the blow, but it's always makes it so enjoyable because it's such visually so amazing. Like it's the top tier of the top tier of the top. Like it's so amazingly well done still. And then paired with the music that they do, it's so perfect.
That Persona 5 inspired.
That's right. The
You can
Persona 5
feel
inspired music.
The love that they've put into this project.
Yeah, the animations are still so mind blowing to me. Like, and there's, you'll see it a lot. Like, there's so much, even like on the beginning screen where it starts the fight. Like, there's a lot going on, and like in the background, like I know it's hard to pay attention to that also while you're trying to live, but if you really look around, there's so much cool stuff happening all around, and a lot of tells actually in the background of these animations that are happening of attacks that are coming later on. And there's so much care and thought and particularity in their decisions, and it pays off. Like there's so much cool stuff going on with it. I loved it. It's very good.
Hell yeah, that's the Cuphead Delicious Last Course, available now on pretty much all platforms. Yeah,
I think so.
Rut, do you want to tell us about Escape Simulator?
Yeah,
Is this the Escape Academy or Escape Simulator?
this is an older one. We beat Raft this week. That again is a delightful game. It was really fun to play co-op. And we're in this kind of lull between games that we want to play. Like Hunt 1.9 is in the public test, but it's not live yet. So in the meantime, we were looking for some stuff to play, and a game called Escape Simulator is like $15 for the game and the DLC. And it's exactly what it says it is. It's a virtual escape room with some really interesting puzzles. We've only finished the first like map or whatever. It's like it's an escape room, and I think there were 4 rooms, and it took about an hour-ish. And there's a boatload of them, like just a lot. And then the community's built a ton. So there's going to be a lot of like replayability there in terms of
awesome.
What to do. And yeah, it's a collaborative thing, like trying to figure out the puzzles. There are hints if you need them, but like you're using books that you find to decrypt things. And there's a lot of things that you don't really think of when it comes to figuring out what that next step is. And then when you figure it out, you're like, oh shit, that's cool. But it's just a chill little fun collaborative game where you're trying to figure out how to get out of a room. So if you've got a player group that enjoys kind of solving puzzles together, it's a really solid experience, and you can play solo too.
Nice.
So, and it is timed. You have to hit that. You have to finish it in each room in the time limit. And I'm guessing there's probably leaderboards for people that want to.
Is there randomization between rounds at all?
I don't know
is it
yet.
like you do a puzzle and then it's like one and done?
I'm not sure yet. We finished the first map, which was like Egyptian themed. So a lot of like hieroglyphs and pyramids and stuff like that were kind of the central bit. And then I think the next one's like space themed. But I don't know if the puzzles are different each time. If they are, I would guess it's still the same puzzles, but just different symbols and
like
stuff.
Minor solutions and stuff.
Slightly different answer.
Yeah. Because it is, I believe, a handcrafted experience. So
that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
that
it's definitely worth it.
How big of a group could it support?
I think you can have up to 4 players. The rooms are very tiny, so I'm guessing they're able to like blow them up as they get bigger. But there's definitely a lot of that kind of like, well, what if it's this? We'll try that. And then those kind of oh shit moments where you figure out what you're supposed to do for that puzzle. So definitely if you're into escape rooms or kind of like puzzle based stuff, looking directly at Stretch right now.
The puzzle master.
I've already pulled it up on my phone, hovering over the purchase button right now.
And it's on sale right now.
So it's not on Game Pass. That's what you're saying.
Not on Game Pass now, but it's definitely we're playing through it, and it's we're looking forward to the Escape.
It's got a nice style to it.
It does. It's real simple. In terms of kind of visuals and but really well crafted, and there's tokens hidden in every room that you can find, and you've got to interact with specific elements to uncover those tokens. So there's also kind of puzzles outside of just the puzzles to get out of the room.
Oh no.
What do those tokens then lead to?
They don't lead to anything that I can tell. It's just kind of like, here's some hidden stuff that you can find.
Okay. That's just he just hasn't figured that puzzle out yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there are achievements for it. So
everything about this is sounding better and better.
Is there a hidden secret language somewhere?
When you get into the hieroglyph stuff, you definitely have to do a little bit of deciphering to understand. There's a little bit of math for some of the puzzles and some other stuff.
We know that's rough for you. Do you have Excel up on the other screen?
Excuse me. I was breaking out the notebook for certain things because
I love when games make you do that.
Yeah,
I love when you have to write stuff down.
Because it's like one of them was like using hieroglyphs to put numbers together, and there's like multiplication and addition, so you had to kind of like break things out to figure out what the final combo was. So there is that to it, and it seems like each map is going to be about an hour to an hour and a half while you're kind of figuring it out, because the puzzles are definitely not simple. Some of them, like you have to flip things over, which is not easy to do to get to specific things. So
yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Definitely recommend it.
Only on PC?
I don't know. We got it on Steam. It's on sale for the Steam sale, but beyond that, I don't know if it's on other platforms.
Well, that's Escape Simulator. If you're interested in that, check it out. I booted up the Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes.
Yes, that is
3 Hopes demo.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
that's long. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes demo. That's a lot of words.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Not even the full game, because the full game came out, what was that, like last Friday or something? The 24th or something. And I played the original Fire Emblem Warriors. I did not enjoy it much. The Muso was just a little too Muso for me. So then I was like, okay, let's test out the 3 Hopes thing. And it still feels pretty fucking Muso, huh? It's still the same thing, huh? I don't know. It doesn't, like, I think what I liked about with Persona 5 Strikers is there was enough changing of the Muso formula, right? Where there's like things that keep you kind of interested and engaged. Here, I can just mash.
Yeah.
And that's it. I can just mash, you know? And your character's kind of OP from the beginning. Like, you know, it's not Byleth. It's not the 3 Houses main character. It's like a totally new one. And your dude just gets 2 swords and just does big swings everywhere. So it's like you feel no threat. You know, it's almost too
Press
easy.
A to win.
Pretty much, yeah. So I just booted up 3 Houses instead. So I've been having a lot of fun going back to the going back to that. I'm gonna do a New Game Plus playthrough. You know, experience another story, because I've already done the Edelgard one, the one where you basically just become a fascist, I guess, because that's kind of her whole thing. So I want to see what the rest of the stories do, and I think it's just funny to me how much that 3 Hopes evoked similarities to 3 Houses, because 3 Houses is very like, you know, there's the school day part of it too, where you talk to everyone and it's very chill, very like Persona vibes. Mm-hmm. And it does that pretty well, to the point where I just wanted more of that, but I didn't have to deal with the Muso, which is why I just went back to 3 Houses instead of Hopes.
Yeah, it made me go to 3 Houses.
Yeah,
to finish it. Well, we talked. Yeah, I guess we didn't talk about it on the podcast beforehand. It's I saw 3 Hopes and I was like, I was talking with Austin on our site, the staff, and I was like, hey, do I need to play 3 Houses if I wanted to give that a try? He's like, oh, you probably should, because of the story stuff. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And that was the game I went back to, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on, because I didn't finish it.
Yeah. Right. What house did you choose?
The Golden Deer.
Ah, that's the one. That's the
Claude,
New Game Plus.
Claude's my man.
Claude's a pretty good boy. Yeah, the 3 Hopes would definitely spoil stuff. Like within the first few chapters, like I think it's an alternate universe or something. I'm not 100% sure, but
sure,
it's, you know, it's definitely like the same characters but different relationships or something.
Yeah.
And in the first few chapters, they're already like spoiling plot points that happened toward the end or the second half of the original game. So
sweet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, can't wait for whatever the next like mainline 3 Fire Emblem thing that supposedly leaked the other day with blue red hair girl.
Yeah, Pepsi Crush.
Although it I don't know, that's getting a little too anime for me. Let's just keep it, keep it where we have it at 3 Houses.
That's where you're wrong, Auden. Nothing can ever be too anime.
No, I said for me. I know I've seen stuff go full anime before.
I'm curious, what's your definition of full anime? Like, can you name a property where you're like, that's going full anime?
Rise of Skywalker did at the end of the movie. Star Wars did.
Yeah, no.
The 2 beams and they're like yelling at each other as there's weird, like that was I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now? This is
Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. That's one.
Fair. But yeah, I think I might just go back to Three Houses. I think I might just do the thing I do on the Switch.
It's one of the best tactical RPGs out there.
It really is so deep, and the music is great.
There's a lot going. That was the other thing when it came in. I'm like, there's so many mechanics. What does all this mean? Like, lots do.
Like, I'm glad I'm doing New Game Plus because now I can like relearn everything. Naturally. That feels nice. As opposed to doing what you're doing, where you're jumping in right in the middle of the story,
just trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, and I know Golden Deer's story is really cerebral, from what I understand.
Well, I am pretty big brained, thank you.
Sure.
God.
I think
I too understand.
Let's wrap it on that one. Don't let him keep going.
Gross to hear him say that.
Yes, I am a Rick and Morty fan. Thank you.
The one and only true Rick and Morty fan, because you understand all the jokes.
I have my own pickle Rick and everything.
Unbelievable.
And that should do it for this week's episode of the TechRaptor podcast. We hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please leave a review on whatever platform you are listening on and share it with a friend if you enjoyed our goofs and gaffs and Otten's big head. If you had
when
fun.
there's video, you're going to see how fucking big this noggin is. So,
yeah, the reason he hasn't done video yet is because he's setting up his Pickle Rick shrine.
That's true.
Right.
Podcast per podcast, I'm just going to start slowly adding a fisheye lens to his video. Over the course of months, you'll see it in fully.
I will start to sit further and further back to combat it.
And hey, let us know down below, either on YouTube or on our site in the comments, what was your favorite announcement from the Nintendo Direct this week or last week, I guess. You interested in Harvestella? Are you big Pac-Man World Re-Pac fan? Did you love watching Pac-Man with his dead eyes run straight into the camera? Because I did. That made me so happy. And also check out TechRaptor.net, where you can see reviews, features, news that we publish every day of the week. But if you want more of our show, we will be back next Monday. We'll see you then.